So my nephew came to visit me today. He had a job about a little over an hour away. He was going to be there for a couple of weeks. He called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be working near you. When I'm through with that job, I'm going to come see you." And I'm like, wow. So he came today and we went into a city nearby and had a wonderful meal. Oh, I don't go out to eat hardly ever anymore. And it was just a great time. And he and I were just talking about things. And I felt to go to this particular chapter and found something that just went, ah. John 17. Why this chapter hasn't been front and center, I don't know. There's a lot in this chapter that is hidden jewels, precious information that we just kind of skipped over. And I'm just going to read one of these jewels. We're going to read 3 verses. John 17, 1, 2, 3. Now, set it up. This is when Yeshua and the disciples were having the Last Supper. And at the end of the whole deal, he's about to be betrayed, arrested, beat to a pulp. Beat so much that you could not even for sure know that it was a human being. He was so beaten that next day, that next morning, he couldn't even carry the cross. They had to get somebody out of the crowd to carry his cross. Beat beyond recognition. And he was facing all that. And at the end of this Last Supper, this is the prayer he prayed. This is the true Lord's Prayer. What we call the Lord's Prayer is really our prayer. He taught us a prayer outline that we're supposed to pray. We're not talking about that Lord's Prayer. We're talking about the Lord's Prayer. Yeshua, the Messiah, the King's prayer to his Father right before it all went down. Okay? Read the whole chapter very slowly. But we're just going to read 3 verses because in the 3rd verse, BAM! I'll read the English. These words spoke Jesus and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, "Father, the hour is come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may also glorify you. As you have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given to him." And verse 3, "And this is eternal life, that they might know you, the only true God, and Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, the Messiah, whom you have sent." Now, my digital Bible, it has the Greek words, and it has each Greek word literally translated. So let's go to verse 3, John 17, 3, and we're going to look at these literally translated Greek words. He had just mentioned this eternal life. And in the Greek, that basically is life, eonian. Now, we're in an eon. When this eon is over, a new eon begins. And when that eon is over, a new eon begins. And so forth, forever. So this is life throughout the end of this eon and all the eons yet to come. But this word life, this word in the Hebrew is pronounced, I'm going to try to pronounce it, chai. And chai is a huge, huge word. Chai is everywhere. Life is everywhere. When I smell a fabulous flower, I have a bush in my yard. I didn't really want to buy this bush. It was $200, but I bought it, and it has been amazing. You have to be tender with it. You have to take care of it. You can't put it right in the sunlight. It can't take that. You have to water it. You have to take care of it. But the flowers that bloom in February, of all times of the year, they bloom when they're not supposed to bloom. They bloom in February and they smell magnificent. And I love when the very first one blooms. I always go, oh, first one. Wow, that smell, that is a teeny tiny particle of chai, or life. And watching the bee come to that flower and work in that little flower to do what it does, and then go back to its group and to share what it has gathered for the group. That's chai. Chai, life, is everywhere, and it's amazing. That one Hebrew word is bigger than the universe. So this is not just, eternal life. This is chai, throughout the eons, forever as they transpire. This is a huge, huge word. And in verse 3, John 17:3, Yeshua he lifted up his eyes into the heaven, and he's talking to Big Daddy in front of the guys. And he gets to verse 3 and says, "Yet this is eternal life." You ready? This is eternal life. That they may be knowing you, the only true God, and whom you commissioned, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. Oh, whoa. Yet this is that eternal life. This is it. You have to be, like he said, you have to humble yourself like a little child, because this is so childlike and simple. A little child can get it. And yet huge religious organizations have totally missed it. This is eternal life, that we may be knowing Big Daddy, our Father. He's big and he's my daddy, and that's why I call him Big Daddy. And he likes it when I call him that. Hope you're not offended. He's not. This is eternal life. Simple, childlike, that we may be knowing you, the only true God, and that they may be knowing the one whom you commissioned, Yeshua HaMashiach. That's it. It's that simple. It's not, read a chapter a day, pray 30 minutes a day. If you can't pray 30 minutes, pray at least 5, and go to church and go do this and go do that and give this money and serve these people and wash their feet and do this. It's that we be getting to know our Father. Now, how do you get to know somebody? My nephew's sitting right over there. I remember when he was born. He's 26 years old. I've known him his entire life. Now, the reason I know him is because we've spent quite a bit of time together over the years. When he was a little bitty kid, we ran around and played. I mean, we just had great times together. Him right over there. And all of this time that we spent together over the years, we know each other pretty well. We have to sit with our Father every day. Every day when we sit alone with Him, we get to know a little bit more about Him. And it didn't say, the English translation, and this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true God. But the Greek literal translation is that they may be knowing you. So you can meet somebody and have a little conversation and then go your way and never see them again, and somebody brings their name up and say, yeah, I know them, I met them, I know them. Yeah, I know that person. No, you don't. You can't know somebody in a meeting. You can't know somebody when you prayed the prayer. I prayed the prayer. I did religion. I did it hard. But I did not understand this one simple, childlike principle until January 2009. And every day we need to get alone and get with Him, that we may be knowing Him, our Father, and the one He commissioned to come here for us, Yeshua, the Messiah, the King. It'll make you well. Love you guys.